Welcome back, and today I'm at the annual Vegetarian Festival in Hat Yai, and many events are based around the lunar calendar, so they're on slightly different calendar dates each year. It runs for 9 days, and this year it runs from the 25th of September to the 4th of October. In a previous video I talked about belief systems in Thailand and mentioned Buddhism and animism. I got some comments saying that there was a lot of Taoism, which there is. A lot of the sort of cult ceremonies are based around Brahmanism, and you also see Hinduism. Here we have a couple of Hindu gods, including the god Ganesh or Ganesha. It's a real mixture of belief systems. This little shrine seems to be mostly Indian, Hinduism, and next door it seems to be mostly Chinese, which I assume is Taoism. It is a Chinese festival, so you'll mainly see images from Chinese belief systems. As I mentioned before in my videos, Hat Yai has a very big Chinese influence. A lot of the natives are ethnic Chinese, and a lot of the visitors from Malaysia and Singapore are also ethnic Chinese. And the other place that has quite a big vegetarian festival is Phuket in Thailand, but the one in Hat Yai is a fair size as well. We're on Supasarnrangsan Road. Up that way is the Prince of Songkhla University and Tesco. Along the other way you'll eventually come to Chung Temple and Gimyong Market, and just here is the Siang Teung Rescue Centre. I don't profess to know a lot about this place, but it's very popular with visiting tourists who like to come here to make merit. And although it may look a bit like a temple, it's not a temple. I think it started as one of these charitable Chinese organisations that raises money to buy coffins for poor people who die and can't afford coffins. Whenever I come here, there are always a lot of people making merit, and they are very often Malaysian and Singaporean tourists. Inside this little perspex box there's something that's quite interesting. I won't get too close, I won't describe what's inside there because YouTube won't like it, but if you come here you should have a look for yourself. The usual Asian belief systems apply here, just as they do everywhere else. So what you do, you shake one of these containers and take out a stick, and the stick will have a number on it. Then you go over here all these compartments, these little pigeonholes are numbered, so depending on the number of your stick you take out the corresponding piece of paper, and on one side is Thai, the other side is Chinese, and that will tell you your fortune. And if it's really good and you're feeling very lucky, then you can walk over to see this man and buy a lottery ticket. Kaidi makeup. As I mentioned in the previous video, lottery tickets play a big part in Thai belief systems. The other function of this place is a rescue centre. So what you'll see are vans and pickup trucks that have been converted to ambulances. And because Thailand has such dangerous roads, there are frequent road accidents, and you'll often hear the wailing of sirens, and it's these guys who go to the scene of the accident, pick up the victims and take them to hospital. And I don't know a lot about how these places work, so I don't want to say too much, but in the past I've read some quite controversial reports. I've read that the people that work at these places don't always have enough training, and when they treat victims at a scene of an accident, they don't always handle them correctly, dependent on the injuries they're sustained. And I've also read that in Bangkok there are several of these organisations and they compete against each other to get to an accident first. It's quite a big place, and when I've been here in the past I've seen massage sessions, strictly for medicinal purposes of course. Rescue workers from here attended the tsunami in 2004, and after that they put up some big notice boards in this area with hundreds of photos from the tsunami, and some were really horrific, gory. YouTube would absolutely not like them at all, but those notice boards disappeared quite a long time ago. This area of Hat Yai has quite a Chinese feel to it, and just here is quite a large Chinese pharmacy. I like these places. You go inside, I love the smell, and what's inside is quite interesting. They've got Western medicine, but they've also got drawers full of ingredients for Chinese medicine, and if you've got a problem they'll diagnose you and prescribe you some Chinese medicine. I'm not sure if it's open today. The sort of shutters are partially closed, so I'm not sure if it's open or closed. In the side road next to the pharmacy, just next to the Hat Yai hotel, there's a Chinese clinic with a Chinese doctor. So clinic Pragop Rok Sin Saka Pet Jean More Anlat or Analat. Now there used to be a Chinese doctor in Kim Yong Market, very near Kim Yong Market. I went to see him years ago. I had a fungal infection in my eye, and I wasn't having much luck with Western medicine, so I went to this Chinese doctor and he mixed me up some herbs. I had to infuse the herbs in water and drink the solution, and then I had to eat some ginseng. And it wasn't very effective. It was quite expensive and not very effective, but his method of diagnosing was quite interesting. He made me put my tongue out. He looked at my tongue and then just felt my pulse, and everything was based on that, just looking at my tongue and my pulse. I believe now he died, but if you want to see a Chinese doctor, just come here. This man here repairs electrical appliances, and when I first got to Hat Yai there were loads of shops like this, and I think it's great that when the TV is broken you just repair it. Nowadays of course we throw it away and buy a new one, but I think it's really nice that old things are repaired. The trouble is all those shops are gone, and this is just one of the last ones that remain. The very first apartment building I stayed in Hat Yai is quite near to here, just next door to Chung Temple, where we'll go to soon. And there are a lot of restaurants along Supasarnrangsan Road, and what you'll find with many of them is that during the Vegetarian Festival they'll change their menu. So if they normally serve meat, they'll stop serving meat and they'll just serve vegetarian food. And as we walk further up you'll start to see a lot of street vendors as well, just selling vegetarian food. This is another part of the Siang Teung Foundation. It's a private hospital, and again I believe it was started by the Chinese community as a charity. And a few years ago it looked really run down. My son was born here actually. You go inside and it was just like a typical Thai public hospital. It didn't look like a private hospital at all, but there's been a huge refurbishment over the past several years. I think it's about finished now, and now it looks like this. It looks much more like what you'd expect of a private hospital. When you think of private hospitals in Hat Yai, you think of the Bangkok Hospital, Sikarin and Rat Yindi, but not many people think about this one. But this is the fourth private hospital in Hat Yai. If you want to stay in this area, there are hotels. This one's the Thanapat, and further up there are a few more hotels. And at the moment, this one has rooms for 580 baht a night. There's a chicken hanging up here, and next door there are lots of pork dishes. So Obviously, not all of the restaurants are observing the vegetarian festival, but many do. And at the Yatian junction with Supasarnrangsan is another Chinese doctor, Feng Kem Acupuncture. Okay, this one offers acupuncture. So a long time ago, when I wanted to see a Chinese doctor, I was told to go to Gimyong Market. But nowadays, if you want to see one, I would think this is the best area to come to. I used to stay in an apartment just over there, next to Chung Temple, and this guy used to have a motorbike taxi, and he used to take me places, and I didn't see him for years. And when I did see him, he recognised me instantly. And once the Thais met you, they never forget you. And he's got rid of his motorbike now, and he's got this black taxi. And he tells me, last time I saw him, there were no tourists in Hat Yai, and he was struggling, but now he tells me there's quite a lot, so he's happy. Okay. Okay. This was my first apartment building in Hat Yai, just next door to Chung Temple. And when I first got to Hat Yai, I stayed in a hotel in the Lee Gardens Plaza area for a couple of weeks. And then I sort of started looking for some more permanent accommodation. And I was drawn to this area because it was so vibrant and busy. It's where sort of, there was a lot of action. And then what I found as I sort of continued living in Hat Yai is I just got fed up with all the sort of frenetic activity and craziness. So with every move, I moved further away from town, and I've ended up way out by the airport. Wherever you go during the festival, you'll hear this Chinese music. And Chung Temple is quite an amazing place. When I first got to Hat Yai, it was basically just a concrete shell, and it had been that way for many years. And then they collect donations, and then when they've got enough donations, they do some more work. So over the years, I've watched how this place has progressed, and it's been quite an amazing transformation. And there must be millions of tiles used, and they were all fired in kilns locally, all handmade. It's quite an amazing place. It's a quick look inside. As I say, I first saw this place just as a concrete shell, and now it looks like this. So it's an incredible transformation. I've just chatted to two groups of tourists, and both from Singapore. There seems to be a lot of Singaporeans here at the moment. For those not familiar with Thai toilets, this is a fairly typical Thai toilet, although this one has actually got a Western style toilet bowl. Some have just got squat toilets, which is fine for number ones, not so good for number twos. And there's no flushing mechanism, so when you've finished, there's a little bowl in here, so just fill this bowl up with water and then tip it down the toilet to flush it. In this area around Chung Temple, there are a lot of street vendors selling vegetarian food, so we'll just go to have a look at some of those. Bowl beer, some spring rolls. And as I said in the last video, with something like this, it'd probably be better to come at the weekend in the evening, but because of my commitments at home, it's not always possible, so I don't get many opportunities to make these videos. So this is lunchtime Friday. It's busier than I expected, actually. Just cakes and biscuits, come on, all vegetarian. This word here, J, is the Thai word for vegetarian. Some more places just over the road, more kanom. Some herbal drinks. various vegetarian curries, more spring rolls. Mostly in Thai, but some places there it's in English as well. If you come in the evening, you can see some Chinese lion dancing and other performances. But the most dramatic aspects of this festival we won't see today. I'm not sure when it's happening. Even if it was happening, I couldn't put it on YouTube because YouTube would just take my video down straight away. What happens is that devotees of the faith, to show their devotion, perform acts of self-mortification. It's all men, no women involved. So you'll see these guys who have skewered their cheeks with various things, you know, household appliances, bicycle frames, you know, walking around with a bicycle frame through both cheeks. There's lots of blood. It's quite a spectacle. So in the past I've seen it a few times and I've taken lots of photos, and I put a few of those photos on my webpage, and Google didn't like them and YouTube certainly won't like them. If you come along and that's taking place, it's certainly worth seeing. It's quite a spectacle. I've just had a chat with the two guys over there about the self-mortification thing that goes on during this festival, and they told me it happens tomorrow, which will be Saturday the 1st of October, and it's around 4 p.m. So if you're in Hat Yai and you want to see that, and as I say, it's quite a spectacle to behold, come along here tomorrow, 1st of October, around 4 o'clock. I don't usually eat vegetarian food. I can eat it and I can enjoy it, but normally I prefer a more balanced diet. With the Thais, there are Thais who eat vegetarian food all the time, and with some they'll just switch to a vegetarian diet for the duration of this 9-day festival. It's all about purity and purification of the body. So what you'll also see, I haven't seen too many today, are people who are wearing all white as a symbol of purity. If you go further along Supasarnrangsan Road, past the Siang Teung Foundation towards the university, there's another area where they're selling vegetarian food. This is in a little park called Suan Yom, and this part of the festival is covered, which is quite useful. It'll be very useful at the moment because the weather is not good and there's been a lot of rain. So if it's raining outside, I expect this place will be really busy over the weekends, selling basically the same sort of food as outside, but a bit more comfortable in here. And there's a stage, and when I've been here in previous years, this is where they've done the lion dancing and the other performances. Quite a lot of seating as well, tables and chairs. One of the problems with the street vendors outside is you can buy the food, but there's nowhere to sit down to eat it, whereas there is here. And that's the Siang Teung Centre just over there. Very quiet at the moment, but over the weekend this place will be absolutely packed. I'm not sure whether I'll have an opportunity to come back later. It really depends on what the wife and kids are doing, but quite possibly I might come back over the weekends, and I might even shoot another quick video. I'm walking along a road that I don't usually use in Hat Yai, and I've come across a TV graveyard. This is really weird. So all along the road there are just old CRT TV sets. Strange. Some of them are resting on concrete pillars, and others have been transformed into plant pots. There's some papaya malagor tree planted in this one. All these ones have got lemongrass, sakrai, which is an important ingredient in Thai food. Here's another strange sight on the same road as the TV sets. There are dozens of cages full of cats. I guess they're just stray street cats. They've got food and drink, but there's not much space in there. Okay. It's just loads and loads of cats. Hello. 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 Never seen anything like this before at all in Hat Yai. Most strange. Okay. Hello. Pussycats. I thought I knew Hat Yai pretty well after being here for 19 years, but you just go to an area that you're not familiar with and there's always a new surprise. Look, cages here, here, here. Just cats everywhere. It's just started to rain, so I think I'll wrap this up fairly soon. But if you're in Hat Yai in the next couple of days before the 4th of October, it's definitely worth a visit. Just head along to Supasarnrangsan Road or the Siang Teung Centre. It's very easy to find, and all of the taxi drivers will know where it is. Weather in Thailand at the moment is not great. There's been a big tropical storm, Noru, that's hit Vietnam, and that's coming into northeast Thailand, and lots of people in northeast Thailand have been evacuated as a precaution. Down here in the south of Thailand, nothing really serious, but just this persistent rain all the time and grey skies, so it's been quite miserable. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little look around Hat Yai's Vegetarian Festival, and more videos soon.